listen, welcome to the Gunman Insta Live.
Thank you very much, sir.
A new platform we've set up, grassroots platform to enable people that love boxing and people that do boxing to get an understanding of what it takes to fight, a bit of an insight into the fighters, insight into referees, coaches, gyms.
Yeah.
And so we're interviewing. I'm going to be interviewing, you know, a lot of people and personalities in boxing over the next few weeks and months. And yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm really glad to. This is episode number 2, and I'm really glad to have you on.
I'm glad to be on, Wesley, man. I know you love your boxing, you know what I mean. So it's an honor to be second on your channel, and I hope that you carry on and, you know, get as many boxing people as possible. You know what I mean? You're a good guy. You know the game.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You know, you're a good fighter yourself. So
thank you.
It's good to have, you know, guys who can fight doing this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
There's a lot of wannabes about, you know what I mean? Guys who couldn't lace up their gloves, but you can, you know what I mean? So
yeah. And you can certainly fight. You can certainly fight, my friend. And we're gonna come on to that, because I know a little birdie told me that you could fight in the street when you was a kid. You was a good fighter. You was a good fighter from day one. I had to learn how to fight. You naturally had it from day dot.
You know what? I would say hyperactive. I was a hyperactive kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to scrap.
Yeah.
I did like to scrap.
Yeah. That's how we sorted things out back in the old, you know, back in the 80s and stuff. You know, that's how we sorted.
Yeah, listen, don't get me started, man. I mean, back in them days, there was no iPads, no internet. You know what I mean? He was out playing on your BMX or your drifter or your chopper. You know what I mean? Playing. Remember Knockdown Ginger? Playing them kind of games there. You know what I mean? Now the kids are stuck on their iPad.
A friend of mine sent me, you know, when you look at old school training, you know, we were chopping down, you know, chopping trees, going for long runs and, you know, in the cold and, you know, really grafting. And you look today and people in the gym are on the bike, on their phone, just paddling away with their legs and, you know, foam rollers and stuff like this and Pilates and stuff. You know, they didn't make them like they used to back in the day. You guys were solid guys.
I've got questions there already, you know. Do I answer them? I've got one guy here saying, have you fully retired from boxing or up for another fight? Do I answer these questions now?
I'll read the questions out to you.
Go on then.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the questions out to you and you can answer them, and I'll pick them out. But what I want to do firstly, I want to get straight into it, and let's go back to the very start. And how did you get into boxing? I know you was a tough kid on the streets of South London, but how did you get in? Where did you get? You know, how did you get into it? Where was your first gym? Was Lynn your first gym, or did you go somewhere else first and end up there?
Well, like I said, I was a hyperactive kid. You know what I mean? Always from a young boy. So my first contact sport was karate. I'd done a bit of karate. Only for about 2 or 3 months, you know what I mean? Something to like burn up energy, you know what I mean? I was, you know, hyperactive and something to burn up energy. So I started a bit of karate. That was in Tooting, where I was born.
Yeah.
So I was born in Tooting.
Yeah.
I was born in Tooting in 1973 at St. George's Hospital. I started boxing, started karate there when I was about 9. 9, 10. Didn't really like it, so I stopped it. Then we moved to Croydon when I was about 9. And I had a couple of friends at primary school who were doing boxing. I heard them talking about the gym, talking about how they liked it. And I said to them, you know what? Let me come and join you. I want to do a bit of that. It was the Croydon Boxing Club at Thornton Heath. The Prince of Wales pub. Remember the Prince of Wales pub, Thornton Heath?
Yeah.
That was where the Croydon ABC was for about 30 years.
Yeah.
So I went there at the age of 11, and within 5 minutes, you know when they say that saying where I found what I was looking for, you know, like within 5 minutes, I felt at home. You know what I mean? The smell of the gym, the look of the gym, just the atmosphere, the vibes. It was me. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt at home. Yeah. That's the truth. It's a feeling that only a few guys can really say they've had that feeling. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
from then on, within a couple of weeks, I was told by my trainer, John Niverson, the late John Niverson, that I was going to be a champion. I was going to be a good fighter. You know what I mean? And I felt that I was worthy of something, because I wasn't very good at school. I was always getting in trouble. You know what I mean? I wasn't really good at anything, really. You know what I mean? So when I went to the gym, I was the best guy within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, gave you that sense of purpose, doesn't it? You know, when you start improving, and it's so rewarding as you start improving and start earning respect in the gyms. You know, I think it's second to none, that feeling, isn't it?
That's it, bro. So
that was it. How did you get to the Lynn then? How did you end up going from Croydon to so it was Lynn ABC, yeah?
I started at Croydon at 11. I had my first fight when I was 12. I stayed at Croydon.
12, brilliant.
Yeah, I stayed at Croydon from the age of 12 till I was 20.
Right.
So I had about 60 fights, 50 fights at Croydon. That's why I learned to fight at Croydon.
Right.
I learned to box at Croydon ABC. I had about 50 fights. I became national champion when I was 16.
Yeah.
I won a junior ABAs at 16.
I'm gonna just read out your amateur career.
Yeah.
Okay. 1990, London ABA 67 kg champ, national junior champ, 67 kg. 1994 ABA light middleweight championship, 3-time South East London ABA light middleweight champ, represented England in 94 and 95 at the Liverpool multinational nations, represented England against Denmark in 94, represented England against Scotland in 95.
Yeah.
So you didn't do much then.
I had to go.
Right, well, you should have done a bit more. That is
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I mean, that's you're busy.
Yeah.
But you said you were hyperactive. I mean, yeah.
Like I said, I left Croydon when I was 19 to go to the Lynn.
Yeah.
You know, because I kind of outgrew Croydon. You know, it taught me how to fight. Croydon's where it was started for me. You know, but I got to a stage where I was better than everybody. I was like, you know, I needed more of an incentive. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the Lynn at the time was like probably the best club in the country, one of the best.
Right.
Had like Danny Williams in there.
Yeah, Danny Williams.
Yeah. Harry Senior, Danny Watts. Had a load of good top fighters. So when I went to the Lynn in '92, I was like, when I went to the gym, I was in awe, because the gym was like 3 times as big as Croydon, had 2 rings in it, loads of like top boys, national champions, England reps. Yeah. So I had to learn off them. Do you know what I mean? I was like one of the youngers, and I looked up to certain guys up there. So
and is that where you met Jimmy Tibbs?
No, I met Jimmy Tibbs when I turned pro.
Right.
I was at the Lynn for 3 years.
Right.
So I won the A-base to the Lynn. Then boxed in my country. I was gutted. I wasn't picked for the Commonwealth Games in '94. They had the Commonwealth Games in Canada in 1994, and I was the England champion, and they didn't pick nobody at my weight.
Right.
And the worst thing about it, well, I always remember, and it always, even to this day, it winds me up.
Yeah.
Scotland picked somebody in their weight. Yeah. Who's that? Gunman waved. Oh,
that was me.
I like it.
I'm going to keep asking questions, guys. I'm going to come round to the questions. So keep asking the questions, and we'll get onto them.
Well,
so go on,
I was thinking about that story. I was England champion at the time, and I went in the multinations, which you mentioned, and I beat the Scottish boy, Joe Townsley. I beat the Scottish boy in the first round, yeah. Then I got beat in the second round by the Canadian, right? And long story short, England didn't pick nobody at my weight, right? And Scotland picked him, yeah. So he went for Scotland, right? Yeah. And I was like, watching it at home. You know what I mean? All the boys went to Canada. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
Another trip in Canada. They had a training camp in Tallahassee, Florida.
mm.
Danny Williams, Spencer Oliver. Do you know what I mean? Some good boys.
Yeah, they're top
Anyway,
raters. Yeah.
long story short, Joe Townsley went and got a bronze for Scotland in the
Yeah.
Commonwealth Games. I remember watching him like winning all these fights. He got beat in the
Mm.
semi-finals. So he got a bronze, and the guy that knocked me out didn't get a medal. So he just goes to show sometimes in competitions, you know what I mean? It's like you can't really be sure who's going to win. So basically, Joe Townsend got a bronze medal in the Commonwealth Games, and I beat him. I beat him about 2 months before that, and
Yeah.
I didn't go. So that always
Yeah, there's a lot of politics with it, isn't there?
yeah,
There's a lot of politics with it. You see, Tyson Fury didn't get picked for Team GB.
yeah, yeah,
And ended up going off and boxing for Ireland.
yeah.
And
That's true.
I think Mike Tyson didn't represent. He didn't win an Olympic gold, and the guy who did, I think it was Tibbs. I think it was
That's
Tibbs that won.
Tillman. But
Tillman.
the thing about
Tillman won
Tillman,
an Olympic gold. Look how their careers went.
but Tillman beat Tyson though. That's the
He
thing
did,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, he
Even
did,
though
yeah.
Tyson beat him as a pro, but Tillman beat Tyson twice.
As an amateur, yeah.
So he had to go, didn't he?
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know
But
what I
look
mean?
how their pro careers turned
That's
out.
yeah.
So it's two different sports, isn't it? Really.
That is true.
Um,
That is true.
so who was your first trainer, Wayne?
Right.
Who was your first
So
coach
yeah,
then?
I left the amateur game when I was 22, and I signed up with Jimmy Tibbs. Jimmy
Yeah.
Tibbs was my
And Frank
trainer.
Black, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Frank
Jimmy
Black
Tibbs
was
was
in your corner.
Frank Black. Yeah,
Yeah,
good team.
yeah.
They
Good
they
team.
was in the game from the 70s. They had Bruno,
Yeah.
Jim Watt,
Henry
Morris Hope.
Davis,
Yeah, they had a load of
proper,
British champions.
mate, proper
Experience.
boxing men, proper fighting men. So
How do I look? How do
yeah,
I look on it? How do I look on this Wednesday? How do I look? The lighting, is it all right? The lighting.
yeah, you look like $1,000,000, Wayne.
Okay. Thank you, man.
You
Just
look like
checking.
$1,000,000.
Just checking.
Yeah, so like in terms of your amateur
Yeah.
career, okay, so we've already listed your accolades. So, and as I said, you were a decorated amateur.
Yeah.
You could fight from day dot. I had to learn how to fight. You could fight from day dot, and you had that in you.
But you
And then,
started a bit late, didn't you? You started
yeah,
late,
I started
didn't you?
late, and I had to learn how to. My cousin Granville taught me to fight and showed me, and then I had various coaches that got me to.
The late Granville.
Yeah, the late Granville. It was a coach at McGwell's. You got a picture of him, have you?
No, I'm just adjusting my
Oh, wait, he's gonna surprise us.
What was that?
No, I was saying, yeah, Granville coached at McGwell's boxing gym for 30 odd
Yeah.
years, and he got me into it. What would you say was your favourite part of training? What did you love doing most?
Sparring.
Or pads or
Love
running,
sparring.
or what did you love doing? And
Sparring.
what did you hate doing? You love sparring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you hate?
Running. Running. Anyone who knows me,
You're just like me.
knows I hated running.
Yeah.
I mean, it was boring, and I wasn't good at it either. I wasn't good at it either. Some fighters are good runners. Some fighters can run all day long. I
Yeah.
wasn't a good runner, and I found it boring. But I done it, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, understandable. So yeah, the Lynn. Just last bit on your amateur career. So the Lynn Amateur Boxing Club is it's the oldest amateur boxing club in the UK.
That's it.
It started in 1860 or something. I think it was.
92.
1892. Like you were even more switched on than I. Yeah, so it's been going for a long time. They've had a lot of problems with funding, and as you know, Matchroom sort of has just spent sort of 10k bailing them out. Was it Mike Costello? Is it that was the main big boss there, if you like, or head coach? And they've actually just had refunding, and are they reopening now, or do you not know much about that?
Actually, you know what? I was invited to the opening by Keith Waters. He's the secretary of the club. He's been there for like 40 years. And yeah, Danny Costello. So Mick, what's his name again? Was Costello?
Is it Mike Costello?
Mike Costello was there with Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, he's presenting with his own now. He's presenting with his own.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Eddie Hearn and Matchroom put in 10 grand to get the club back on its feet.
Yeah, that's
which was
great
good to
to see,
see.
isn't it? Great to see the boxing community coming together to, you know, to keep one of our oldest gyms alive. So it's lovely to see stuff like that.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
really touches me. Yeah, it touches me that. Yeah, so that, you know, that's good. I'll ask a few of the questions quickly, and then we'll
Yeah,
we'll get onto your pro career. So a couple of questions from me first, because it is my
you're the
show,
boss,
so
man.
I get to ask.
And you fire away.
I get to ask him
Nothing
first. So
too cheeky though, man.
nothing cheeky.
Nothing too controversial.
So who's your
Go on.
favourite fighter of all time?
Wow, do you know what?
And you can only give me one.
Seriously, honestly, one. Seriously. All right, then.
No, it's
I'll say
impossible. It's
one.
impossible. Go on. If you got one fighter.
In his prime, Roberto Duran.
Oh, lovely.
In his prime as a lightweight and and a welterweight.
Yeah. Did you model your style on him a bit?
Do you know what?
It's quite simple, isn't it?
You said name one. I got about four.
Go on then.
I mean, like
Duran.
Duran.
It's your show as well.
And it always changes as well. It always changes as well. Duran, Hagler.
Lovely.
You know, I used to love Aaron Pryor
What a fighter.
in his prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's three
Old
days.
school. Yeah.
You know,
Anyone else?
obviously the best of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, he's the greatest of all time, Ray Robinson.
Beautiful. Yeah. So one person's asking, are you fully retired, or would you be up for another fight? I guess what they mean is, and I think I've asked you this before, if the exhibition money came around, you know, fight a YouTuber for you know, couple of mil, you know what I mean? Are you fully retired?
You could say no, but you know what? I've spoken about this a few times to people, and I personally wouldn't do it. You know,
2 mil.
I got too much pride. You know what I mean? I don't want to mug myself off. I don't want to go in the ring and just look stupid. And you know, I know it'll be an exhibition, but to me, yeah, when your career's over, it's over. You know
what about if I say 5 mil?
5 more, maybe six. But you know what? Honestly,
I wouldn't want to see you. I wouldn't want to see you in with Jake Paul or someone like that, like schooling you. That would be heartbreaking. Do you know what I mean? Not even Jake Paul. Just like imagine just like some absolute moron. You know,
I wouldn't risk embarrassing myself to do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
sometimes
I know a lot of guys. I must admit, a lot of guys who do it love training. A lot of guys who are my age, they love training to this day. Yeah, that's why they still think in their mind that they still got it. But because I don't like training, because I never like training. Yeah, I never like training. So like when I retired, that was it.
Yeah,
I didn't do nothing no more. You know what I mean? So I never had it in my mind that I could fight. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm out of shape. I couldn't last 1 minute in the ring now. You know what I mean? So I know that I could do it. Where some guys who are half fit think, you know what, I'm having you know what I mean? I'm having a go. Because I'm half fit. But I'm not fit
on for the cash. It's horrible to see top fighters fighting on for the cash. And you know, when you see Mike Tyson getting beat by Brian McBride, you see Anderson Silva, you know, the MMA fighter, you know, getting beat by Jake Paul, and you know, it's saddening. My last question from me, and then I'm going to get into the viewers. Who's your current favourite fighter that's actually fighting right now? Who's your favourite right now? Who do you look at and you're following, and you'd go, oh yeah, I'd like this guy, and when he's fighting, I want to see him.
Again, there's a couple. I mean, like, who sticks out in my mind, who doesn't get the credit he deserves? Bivol.
Yeah, meathead.
Bivol's a very good fighter. I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer. In my eyes, he's the best light heavyweight in the world. You know what I mean?
I've seen that Beterbiev fight live, though. I've got to say, he's an animal. That Beterbiev.
You know what? Yeah, listen, mate. Them two would have a great fight. Whoever wins wouldn't be a surprise, but I would favour Bivol. He's got it all. You know what I mean? He's a good boxer. He hits hard, he's sharp. But you're right. Beterbiev is, you know, he's another one who's one of the best in the world.
Yeah, I was surprised at his footwork, and you know, when I went and saw him, I was at the Yard fight when he fought Yard. And I just thought he was going to just be a brute force kind of guy, but I was so surprised at his footwork and his combination punching. He surprised me. So look, Sal Boxercise is saying, hi Wayne, it's Sanj.
Okay,
Sanj
hi, how are you?
He's saying lots of people started off kickboxing karate and then went into boxing. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then we've got. He's also saying, did you ever come across any of the Mackenzie family in Croydon or even in the Lynn? Did you ever bump into any of the Mackenzies? That's what
Yeah,
he's
of
asking.
course. I know.
You know
All the Mackenzies.
Duke well, yeah.
I know Duke well. I know Clinton well. I know
Yeah,
Winston well.
yeah.
I know
I'm
Leroy.
hoping to I'm hoping Duke's going to come on very shortly. Actually, on he's trained. I've trained with Duke for about 3 or 4 of my fights, as you know, and I'm hoping to get him onto the live shortly. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know the Mackenzies. The Mackenzies they're the most famous sporting family in Croydon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Leon, the footballer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're a big name in Croydon. Always. You know what I mean? For years.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're brilliant fighters as well. I mean, I had a little move around with Duke. He's like 60, and he absolutely schooled me. It was literally it was like him putting a finger on my head, and I was like Scrappy Doo trying to get to him, you know. And he was spinning me around like a spinning top. Like literally, you know, put it like that. He was just spinning me around. Like he's like 60 and he's fit as a fiddle, and I'm sweating like mad. I had a fight coming up, and I just had a little move around with him.
I know,
And he was still
I
schooling
know
me, you know.
out, yeah, he does work out.
Yeah, he works out.
Putting me to shame, man.
Yeah. And then Dan Murray 83, lovely question from Dan. How close was the Ensley Bingham fight to being made?
You know
what explosive fight that could have been.
You know what? When Ensley Bingham was champion, right? I became #1 mandatory to fight him. Yeah.
Bingham, but he vacated, didn't he? And you fought Samuels, didn't you?
In year 2000, I was nominated to fight Ensley Bingham. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ensley was kind of towards the end of his career. Didn't really have much to prove. I was coming up. I was a young buck, and Ensley pulled out. Ensley gave the title up. He gave it up.
Yeah.
Not saying he bottled it, but you know, but he gave it up. I understand that he made it.
Let's say he bottled it. But Ensley's
all right. Ensley's my pal. Ensley's my pal.
I'm telling him.
Ensley he won the bet outright. He fought for the world title. He done it. He done it all. So rather than risk fighting a young up and coming fighter, he gave it up. And I fought Paul Samuels for it. Yeah, that's the history.
Well, Dan Murray,
a good guy.
Dan Murray gave me a laughing emoji for that one, so I'm all right with him. He's cool. Dan, you're cool. So let's get on to your pro career, because this is a bit that excites me, actually. I mean, your amateur career was absolutely stellar. But your pro career, wow, what can I say? So let's just go through it. 27 fights, 24 wins, 18 KOs, 3 losses, and a 75% punch knockout ratio. I mean, that's brilliant. I never knocked anyone out. You know, I was always a boxer mover, and I'd outscore you and I'd outbeat you on points. I only knocked down a couple of opponents. I always found it very difficult to knock people out, especially in our level. It's sort of 3-round fights up to 5-round fights. So it's very difficult. What would you say is the key behind getting those knockouts? What's the key? Is it timing? Is it power driving through the legs? What would you say the key to your punch power? Because you had some fearsome punch power. How did you have that? Is it natural? Is it something you're doing?
First, I would say a lot of it was natural. A lot of it was like, I believe you're born a puncher. I don't believe you can really make yourself become a puncher. Do you know what I mean? You can make yourself a bit stronger and maybe a bit sharper, but I don't believe you can make yourself become a puncher. So a lot of it was natural. And but you said the word there, timing.
Is it heavy hands, or was it in the rotation, or is it
what you said there? Timing.
Yeah.
Timing is key. You know what I mean? Timing is key. Hitting a guy when he doesn't expect it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that knock you out. The ones you don't see coming.
Yeah.
So timing is probably the answer to that question. Right timing. It's the ones you don't see that knock you out.
Yeah. So do you remember your pro debut against Andrew Jervis back in '95? Do you remember it? Do you remember being nervous? Tell us about it.
It came up on my memories today.
25 years ago, isn't it?
28.
28 years ago.
Yeah, 1995. So,
Oh,
yeah,
28 years
yeah.
ago. 28 years ago this week, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
This week?
yeah,
Yeah.
November, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was so nervous. I must admit, I nearly shit myself. I was that nervous. I mean, like the nerves was like it nearly overtook me. I ain't gonna lie, it nearly overtook me because
Yeah.
I was so nervous. My
Yeah.
pro
But
debut.
despite having such a decorated amateur
Yeah,
career, your
I
pro
was.
debut, is it probably one of your trickiest fights to negotiate?
I did box. I did box great. I was saying to myself, I was saying to Jimmy Tibbs a month before the fight, I'm gonna try and do welterweight. Don't know what I was saying that for. I'm gonna try and do welterweight. So I'm gonna try and come in as much under 11 stone as I can. When really I could have been 11-2, 11-3. Do you know what I mean? I came in about 10, 12. So I was too light. I was shitting myself, and I fought a guy that was a lot more experienced than me. Though I fought a guy that was a decent guy, a guy that had 18 fights.
Yeah, it was 10 wins and 7 losses and 1 draw.
And he fought for the Central area title. So I fought a 10-rounder, a 10-rounder in my first fight. So the guy I fought was way more experienced than me.
You're not allowed that these days, are you? You can't.
No, that wouldn't happen now. I mean,
they don't allow that.
So I was very nervous, and I got the win though.
Yeah,
I got the win.
Put him down in the 3rd round.
Yeah,
put him down in the 3rd, didn't you?
That's it. Yeah, I broke his nose. He didn't come out for the following round. I broke his nose.
As you do.
So,
and then you went on. Then you went on a tremendous run of victories, with some really good names in there. I think it was 15 fight run of victories, and then you stepped in against Paul Samuels, which I've seen this fight. Paul Samuels was 15-0. I think you was around the same. He was around the same sort of record. Both of you had banging knockout records, ratios. Both of you were unbeaten.
Yeah.
That was in Dagenham, and that fight came about because Ensley Bingham was stripped and the title was vacant. And that fight was brutal. Like, I never liked to fight like that. You know, like that was brutal. You two went toe to toe, and you absolutely slapped him, didn't you? You absolutely slapped him. You know, parked him out of the ring, put him out of the ring completely. Savage. Come on, talk me through that. I mean, that's something you don't forget in your memory bank. That one.
You know, that fight was never on earth gonna go 12 rounds. Do you know what I mean? Never in a million years. Like I said, Paul Samuels was a real banger. You know what I mean? He had 15 fights, 30 knockouts. You know, I think we turned pro around the same year. Yeah, we're the same age. He, as an amateur, he was a lot lighter than me. You know, he was only like a lightweight. You know what I mean? As an amateur, but he shot up quickly. You know, he was tall. He was about 6 foot tall, or just under 6 foot. So like over a period of 3 years, he kind of shot up from a lightweight to a light middleweight. Do you know what I mean?
It was brutal, that fight, wasn't it? Like, you really did bang. You really did bang each other. You know,
listen, mate, in them 3 rounds, right? He busted my eardrum, and he cut me under my eye. He busted my right eardrum with a left hook. Busted it, and he cut me under my eye in 3 rounds. And in them days, light middleweights wore 8-ounce gloves. Yeah, them 8-ounce gloves, right? You could feel you knuckle through them. You know, like you literally feel you knuckle through them 8-ounce gloves. I mean, seriously, bro. I mean, like raised puncher's gloves. I mean,
mate, there's a
couple times he hurt me. A couple times he hurt me. And have you ever been hit before when you've been out on your feet? Have you had that before?
Well, no, to be honest with you, I hadn't really been hurt in many of my fights, apart from my last one, where it wasn't actually hurt, but I didn't feel hurt in the head. I was still all right up. I was still all right up there, you know.
Don't show off.
Inspiring, though. Yeah, inspiring for sure.
You got solid chin in there. That's why you got solid chin in there.
You know,
listen, mate. He hit me a couple of times where I was out of my feet, literally out of my feet. And if he caught me again, it would knock me out.
Yeah.
that's how the fight was. A couple of times I was out of my feet.
Yeah, a couple of
I'm
left hooks, a couple of left hooks wobbled you big time. I think it was like about round 3, I think.
yeah,
You ate some big left hooks. But talk me through your style, because you had this sort of
yeah,
you had a double guided hands up, okay, which I've talked about this with a few people. It doesn't suit a lot of fighters. A lot of people are sort of long range now, or Philly shell and all this. But you're just hands both are up tight,
yeah.
and you kind of have your head ahead of your feet a little bit.
No,
You can lean forward, yeah, and that's unusual for like modern day fighting styles. You kind of had your head, in front of your feet. And you wouldn't really teach that, but it worked so well for you because you could roll, you could counter too, and you countered with your backhand so well. And your left hook was beautiful, which we'll come on to in a minute. But that style, where did that come from? That's not like it's almost like your own unique style, isn't it?
You know what? You're right. You're right. My style was not. How can I put it? It's not where you teach someone to fight. You know what I mean? I did a lot of things wrong.
Yeah.
My chin was up in the air.
I wouldn't say that, but go on.
A lot of the time, like you said, I used to lean over my front foot as well.
You used to lean over your front foot, but your chin was always down, and you have your hands tight.
Like I said, my style of fighting wasn't the way that you would teach someone to fight, but it's the way I felt comfortable. You know what I mean? It's just the way I felt comfortable. And also because I knew I had the power, I knew all I had to do was catch you. And that would be it. Do you know what I mean? So perhaps in my career, I relied on my powers.
You did, yeah.
Sometimes too much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll come on to that because you absolutely knocked Samuels into a different postcode, knocked him out of the ring, which I've shared that knockout on my Insta. I'd love to play it now. Actually, I was trying to just see if I could play it now whilst we're on here, but I'm.
Hugh Hampton, what's happening, Hugh? No, just say hello to some of the people.
Right, yeah. No, the Samuels fight, you absolutely parked him. But can you talk me through, so you went on and fought Denton straight after that at Wembley Conference Centre.
Yeah.
But then why did you take a fight? And I have to ask you this. Why did you take a fight against Harry Simon at 24 hours notice? I know it was a world title fight. And if someone offers you a world title to fight, you were out the door. You was chasing that world title quicker, like Tom was chasing Jerry. You know what I mean? You were just out the door, like gloves over my shoulder. I'm gone. I'm out. So you just went straight through it. But why did you do that? Do you think that was, in hindsight, bad management, or do you think that was
What do you think?
Well, listen. Top fighters don't take fights at 24 hours notice.
Money.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'll see you there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, money was the main reason why I took the fight. I mean, also I knew I had nothing to lose in a way where I was the underdog. I wasn't favored to win the fight, and I was told if I get beat, I'm still going to be British champion. I'm going to be high ranked in the EBU rankings,
right?
And the money was good.
Yeah. Good for back in those days, or still good money in these days.
You're decent.
You don't need to say it if you don't want it.
He was decent money. I won't give you the figures, but he was decent money. In hindsight, would I have taken it again? I mean, hindsight is a good thing, isn't it? In hindsight, probably not. But hindsight such a
wonderful thing.
Yeah, such a great thing. So
listen, I've watched that fight, and I actually thought you gave a really good account of yourself. But like you said, you just thought, right, I rely on my power, and you just went for it. You just went for it.
Listen. I still believe I could have won the fight. Don't get me wrong, Wesley. I didn't go into the ring thinking I was going to get beat. No, I didn't go. When I say money, the money was great, but I also believed I could win. I also believe if I hit him, he'll go. So I didn't go there thinking I'm going to get beat, but I'm going to get paid. No, I went there thinking I'm going to win the fight.
Yeah.
I went there knowing Harry Simon. I watched him fight. I fought with his undercard a couple of times, and he was good.
He was
good. I was like, you know what? When I hit him, he's going to go.
Yeah.
So, so I thought, I thought I'd go for it. I'll gamble. I was training I was training for a fight for about 5 weeks afterwards. So I was in half good shape. I wasn't completely out of shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I wasn't in shape.
No, you gave a good account of yourself. Yeah. absolute respect and love, because you gave a good account of yourself. I'll be honest, the first 2-3 rounds, if I remember rightly, there was nothing in it.
Listen, me and Harry still speak to this day. Harry should have done better than what he did, but he had a couple of incidents, which is another story. But Harry always says, I hit him the hardest ever. I think in round two, I had him out on his feet in round two. I had him out. Anybody else, I would have had out. He had a rock solid chin.
He did, he did. And then he caught up with you round 5. Couple of great body shots, weren't they? They were great body shots. Talk us through those. Was it just gut wrenching, or you just too tired?
Listen, he was just brilliant all round. Head and body, speed. You know what I mean? I never thought he was the best. He's the best guy I ever fought. He had it all. You know, speed, chin, stamina, good body puncher, and like I was getting tired come round 5. Yeah. Also broke my hands.
Both of them.
Yeah, broke my hands. I hit him on the elbow. You know.
Oh, hit him on the elbow. Yeah, that's painful. I've done that.
Yeah, my hands were gone from round 4, and I was knackered in the 5th round, and body shots done me.
Yeah. But you gave a great account of yourself, and there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. It was like pure warrior spirit against a great fighter. And as I said, who takes a fight at 24 hours notice for a world title? I mean, that is just unheard of in these days. And who on a pro debut does a 10-round fight? Like the stuff you're talking about is stuff of legends. It's truly inspirational.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You know, but I want to get onto the Takaloo fight because obviously time's ticking. Yeah. And that's the fight I've been most anticipating talking to you about. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play you the knockdown again. Okay. I'm going to play you the knockdown. I'm going to try and play you the knockdown again, okay? Cool. And I just want you to talk me through this.
Talk me through it.
Yeah. So here it is. Right. Okay, here you go. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to play this because, again, you got hurt with a body shot. I'm going to say now, and I thought you got hurt with a body shot. You did your little awkward style and parked him up, laid him out like a picnic blanket. Here it is.
That's it. I see him coming in. I rolled a shot and landed it. Again, that was really cool timing. You know, we were talking about timing earlier on.
Yeah,
he hurt me to the body, but in his mind, he was thinking, you know what, that's it. I'm gonna knock him out now. He's gone. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't thinking about me throwing a counter punch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Here it comes, though. This is the body shot that he gets you with. Here it comes. Look at his left hook now. It comes, bang.
That was a brilliant shot. One more shot there, I would have gone down. You know that?
Yeah, you look gone, but here's your style that we're talking about.
Yeah, you're right. Head forward, but I see him coming in, and I roll that shot there.
Bang!
Do you know who taught me that shot? Jimmy Tibbs.
Night, mate. That's it. And that was it. Bosh.
Even though John Breen trained me for that fight, John Breen in Ireland, but Jimmy Tibbs like learned me that left hook, the roll. You know, like Nigel Benn used to do it a lot.
It was lovely. It was absolutely beautiful, and as I said, it's gone down as one of the people that listen. The youngsters might not know this, but it's one of the best knockouts in British boxing history. I actually was watching that fight live as a kid. I was watching that fight live, and I was incredible. I mean, you took the guy's head; his head's in a different postcode. He's probably still waking up now. Do you know what I mean?
You know,
you rolled him out and laid him out like a picnic blanket, wove him into the canvas, and just left him there. Picked up your belt and buggered off home, back to Croydon.
I've never landed a shot like that before or afterwards. It was like perfection. It was the perfect shot at the right time. Because when I put him down, a lot of people said, well, no one's seen when he was down. I was in the corner and I doubled up from the body shot.
Yeah,
I literally doubled up because I was in so much pain, but I couldn't get beat by Takaloo. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I couldn't lose to him.
Nah,
I could not lose to Takaloo, man. So
why not? Was it a spicy build up, that one, or you just didn't like the guy, or was there emotion?
Yeah. We trained together, didn't we, for about 3 years with Jimmy Tibbs. We trained together.
Oh right. And,
okay. He put me down. He put me down once, didn't he? In the gym, he put me down.
Oh really?
He put me down once. I thought you knew about this story.
No. But come on, share it with us.
Let me try and get a little bit higher, man. If I can get a bit higher with, because
He put you down in
better?
sparring in the gym. I never knew this. No, I never knew.
Better, yeah. But listen, yeah, Takaloo, he turned pro about 2 years after me. When he came to the gym and saw I was there, you know what I mean? He obviously knew I wasn't. He followed me. He was an amateur, and he wanted to be number one, didn't he? Because I was Jimmy's like blue-eyed boy kind of thing, and he came there and he was a bit jealous, and you know, whenever we sparred, it was like a world title fight to him. You know what I mean? Whenever we sparred, he was like he was fighting for a world title. He really gave me his all, and we had good spars. You know what I mean? He was a good fighter, and then. I always remember one day I came in the gym, and Jimmy goes, Takaloo wants to spar, yeah. And I said I don't really want to spar, you know, I don't feel like it. And Jimmy goes, no, just go spar with him, man. What's the matter? Just do a few rounds with him. I went, all right then. Put my gloves on, you know, got ready, yeah. Got in the ring. The bell's gone. Takaloo's gone, jumped on me, boom, hit me in the right hand, straight away, put me down on the floor. I looked at Jimmy. Jimmy's gone, get out, get out. Jimmy's gone, get out. Got up, yeah. Embarrassed and shocked, and then we carried on sparring. And then for that rest of that day, I was down. I was like, Takaloo was walking around with a big smile on his face. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate. Oh, that's right. No, I know why that victory's even more.
But then about 2 weeks later, we sparred again, and this time. I give him a bit of a hiding, yeah. I'll never forget it. We had done about six rounds, and in the last round, I give him a hiding, yeah. And he was out on his feet, and Jimmy said, "Look, stop sparring. I mean, give Takaloo, give him a rest." And we give him about a minute rest. Then we carried on sparring again. Then I put it on him again. And Jimmy stopped sparring. Anyway, long story short, Takaloo boxed about a week later, and he got beat. He had his first defeat. Right. And then when he got beat, he started saying how Jimmy T was always trained Wayne Alexander. He don't spend time with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm not trained.
The old lose and blame your coach.
So he left Jimmy. He left Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right, and went with Jimmy McDonald. And obviously I carried on doing my thing, winning my fights. He was doing all right. And he always kept saying, I want to fight Wayne. I knocked him out in the gym, yeah. I knocked him out in the gym. He was telling people that I was carried out on a stretcher. he was telling people I knocked him out and they carried him out on a stretcher.
Oh, really?
For about 3 years, he kept saying it. And he was winning these fights. He done well, become a champion. And he was saying, I want Wayne. He kept calling my name out for about 4 years. So when he started to do well for himself, the fight was made, and the rest is history, isn't it? Really, isn't it?
Yeah, that must have been the most satisfying moment.
Of course.
And that was for a belt, wasn't it? That was for your WBU belt, wasn't it? And that was vacant again, wasn't it? That belt at the time. So that was your second belt. Can you just correct me? Is that was your second belt?
Third.
Yeah, third belt. Okay.
Fourth, really.
Yeah.
Fourth.
So that was a European. Was that a European title? That one?
Yeah, I won a Southern area, didn't I? Southern area first.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, I'm going for your big ones. So I'm talking about your biggies.
Oh yeah, Southern area.
You're British. Wasn't that a European fight, the Takaloo one, or is that right?
I won the British and the European, and then Takaloo was a WBU.
WBU, yeah. Okay, brilliant.
Yeah,
amazing. And then you carried on. You only had 4 more fights after that.
Yeah.
Did you feel that was? When did you sort of feel like? Because you've told me before in the past, you kind of felt you boxed on a little bit longer. Your words, not mine. I think you said to me when I said to you I was going to stop. You said you don't go on too long. When I said I was going to retire, you said don't go on too long. And for me, I just was like, look, I don't want to start getting beaten by bums. You know what I mean? But guys that I play with, I don't want them beating me. I'm not having that. I want to be able to live with myself. So I just packed it in. But with yourself, I think you kind of said that you went on a little, maybe, you've won 3 of your last 4 fights. So you weren't spent or anything. I'm not saying that for a second. But did you feel that it was the right time to stop? Or did you feel that, why did you stop?
What,
it was the right time?
Tell you the truth, the dedication, that's one thing I regret about my career, the dedication to training and living the life, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would train hard for a fight. I would train 8, 10 weeks,
Yeah.
you know, for a fight, live the life. But then I'd have 2 months off, three
Yeah.
months off, not doing nothing,
Yeah.
not living the life, and
Yeah.
putting on weight. And I must admit, I didn't really like training. I mean, I trained because I had to. I trained because I had to. Don't get me wrong. I trained
Yeah.
hard. I
Yeah.
trained hard, but
Yeah.
I didn't like training, which is a
Yeah.
good thing now and a bad thing now, because a lot of guys who I said to you now who still want to fight in the later age, it's because they're half fit and they believe in their mind they can do it. I know I'm totally out of shape,
Yeah.
so I can never fight again.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I said, I was getting lazy. I was 33, so I was past my best.
Mm.
I was past my
Mm.
best, and I lost my last fight.
You lost your last fight to
Yeah.
Serge Vignay. I never even heard of him.
I like it. I like it.
I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. And I don't even care about
Virginie, Frenchman.
Yeah.
He was again. He was all right. He was all right,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was promised a world title fight if I beat him. So I went in the fight a bit too complacent. You know what I mean? I went in the fight too relaxed. Got caught early. Got up. The guy continued another barrage on me, and the referee stopped it. I thought it was a bit early, but again, hindsight, I was out on my feet.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was 20 wins and 15 losses, so you know you're a better
Thank you.
caliber. You're a better caliber fighter than
I
that.
mean, yeah.
So, right.
But after that, I just thought, you know what, leave it away, because I would never be a win some, lose some fighter. I'd rather come out of the game, with not much dough, than carry on fighting, losing a lot and have dough. To me, it was all about being a champion and being known as a good fighter. Do you know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, that's what you said to me. That was it. I don't want to be a win some, lose some fighter.
No,
Okay, I've got to quickly whiz through the last few questions because I don't want it to go on for too long.
Yeah, go on then, brother.
But basically, well, my question to you was, I had two questions which are my ones, and then I'll quickly whiz through the ones here, and then we can call it a night. But,
man.
my ones was, so how are you finding refereeing now? So I see you've refereed 5 pro fights. And now you're mainly doing the white collar semi-pro circuit, if you like. How are you finding life after boxing now? Are you okay with it? You still got the fire inside, but how are you feeling about it?
Life after boxing is all right with me. You know what I mean? Again, a lot of fighters when they retire, they get depressed and they have mental problems, and because they missed the training and missed the buzz. Again, because I didn't like training, when I packed it in, I was half glad. I started eating more, drinking more, so obviously, of course I missed it. Don't get me wrong, of course I still missed it. It was my life, innit? It was the only thing I was good at. It was my life from the age of 11, so I was in the game for like 30 years, so I missed it, but it never got me to the stage where I was depressed or, you know what I mean, like I wanted to come back. I got on with my life, and I've got my 2 daughters. You know, I spent more time with my daughters, and
beautiful.
I'm a full time dad now.
Yeah, that's good.
A lot of people don't realise that. I'm a full time parent now to my 11-year-old.
Yeah,
so
brilliant.
I've just got my hands full with her, and like the refereeing, I love it. The refereeing is like the nearest thing to fighting. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm doing commentary now.
No, you are.
And as you know, you saw me on one of the shows. And that's the nearest thing to fighting. I'm standing right next to it. I'm watching the punches going in, and it's keeping me sane. I've still got the fire inside me. I'm always going to have that.
Yeah,
just got to learn to control it. I have to learn to control it and not think in my head, oh, it's a good idea. I go into the gym and I hit the bag. I think I still got it, but then I realise actually, I can't take the shots like I used to. And I want to spend more time with the family. My last one for me, and then I'm going to quickly read through the last questions from the people. I'm sorry I haven't managed to get to their ones yet. But my last question for me is, would you ever train anyone?
Do you know what? Good question. When I retired, I was training a few guys, and to be a trainer, you gotta have the passion as a fighter. You gotta want to do it. You gotta be keen and dedicated, and you gotta really want it. And I must admit, I haven't got the passion to to be a trainer. I don't want to be in it half-heartedly. Do you know what I mean? You know, that's why I do respect them pro trainers, even my old trainers, Jimmy Tibbs and John Breen. They lived in the gym. They was in the gym every day, all day. Do you know what I mean? Because they wanted to do it. But my dream was to be a boxer. Yeah, and now I'm a champion, and that's what I done. So I never wanted to be a trainer. So I give it a go, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Okay. So going through the people's questions before we wrap everything up. Someone here is asking. Vero Beach is saying.
I don't think so.
Who are your top three? Well, he's already answered that. Do you rate Joshua? Do you rate Anthony Joshua?
Of course I do. Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. You do rate him. Someone saying you was a brilliant switch hitter. Another person, Hugh Jampton, he's unorthodox. Hugh Jampton saying, easy Wayne, God bless, mate.
That's my boy here, man.
I'll keep moving them through. One of the greatest comebacks ever. What a knockout, Hugh Jampton saying. Basically, I take it he's talking about the Takaloo fight. Let's keep going. Let's just see, keep going. What else have we got here? Does Wayne think punches are born or can they be made in the gym? I think he's answered that one, Dan.
I said born. I think really born.
Yeah, you think they're born. Yeah. Okay.
Someone just mentioned the Fury and Ngannou fight. I thought Fury just nicked it. I haven't watched it again, but even though he got put down, I just thought he won the majority of the rounds, just 10-9. I mean, they were close rounds, but I thought he just nicked the majority of the rounds. It was a close fight, and you couldn't argue if it went the other way. Yeah. Couldn't argue, even a draw.
Yeah. Someone saying, Simply Fleshy saying, much respect to you, Wesley. Thank you, Simply Fleshy.
Yes,
that's really nice of you. I'm trying to do this to give people an insight into great people like Wayne. Yes, that was the same guy that also asked about your thoughts on the Fury fight. Is Wayne on Takaloo's Christmas card list?
Probably.
Yeah, so that's all the questions done, I think. Great interview. Glad I got to sit in. Hugh, you're a legend.
That's one of my local friends, man.
Yeah, Hugh, thank you very much for supporting the platform. There's going to be more great interviews on here.
Lee Greenwood.
I'd love to have you back on as well, Wayne, in the future for sure. Yeah, and I really appreciate your time. You know,
keep all the good work, Wesley, mate. You're a true boxing man. You love the game. You know, it's good to see people like yourself who've actually boxed. You know, doing stuff like this. You know, you've been there, done it.
Yeah.
So keep it up, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I want to ask you one more question.
Yeah, man.
I had someone, because I know white collar gets a lot of bad press.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of one and done fighters, you know, and they come out straight out of the dog and duck pub. They swing a few punches, they lose one fight, they don't train properly, and that's what people have a perception of white collar. Bad mismatches, you know, it's got that you know, bad stigma around white collar. But yeah, I commentate on DKM Plus, and obviously you ref on Quest, and there's some other good shows, and I think the level some of these shows is outstanding. If I'm honest, I'm seeing guys that are going on into the amateurs afterwards. I'm seeing guys that have gone into pro bare knuckle fighting afterwards, and it's all fighters at that sort of level that are 5 fights up to 20 fights. You know, it's good competitors. And I said to someone on here before that I actually see white collar. It gave me an opportunity to box in my 30s. I started late, as you know, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. Wouldn't be able to box otherwise. You know, you can't go into the amateurs when you're 30. You can't turn pro with no amateur experience. So what are you going to do? So I actually think it serves its purpose, you know, and it gives us a platform to flourish. You know, someone like myself, you know, who I won 3 belts at that sort of level, 2 different weight classes. You know, my belts to me, you know, they mean the world to me. Yeah. You know, they might not be world belts.
You worked hard for them, didn't you?
Yeah, I've worked and trained hard for them. So I think it gives a platform. What's your thoughts on white collar? I know you ref on the shows, and obviously looking in, you must think, oh God, that's terrible standards, you know, compared to what you're doing. But what's your thoughts? I mean, are you in line with what I'm thinking on it, or are you seeing the growth of it, you know, detrimental to to amateur boxing. Is there anything, any thoughts that you have on it?
You used the word there, which was levels. It's all about levels. Do you know what I mean? So even in the pro game, you have of the top world elite level, and you have journeyman level, you have 4-round level. So white collar is all about levels as well. You know what I'm saying? Obviously it's not pro boxing, but like you said, for guys that start late, you know, I think it's fair that guys who want to start boxing in their late 20s or early 30s, it's fair that they have a league, they have somewhere to go, somewhere to go and compete. So as long as like you say, you know your level, you know it's not pro boxing, and at the end of the day, it's still Queensberry rules, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's still the basic rules. So
yeah, anyone who gets in there though and fights, Wayne, anyone who gets in there and fights, or anyone who takes a punch to the head at any level, it's dangerous for you.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I actually think, listen, I like playing football.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play in the Premier League, so I play Saturday League football. Yeah, but I can still get injured and I can still score goals and do everything that a pro can do. So it's a platform I see to gives fighters another platform and another way into the sport. So I don't see it as a bad thing, and it's great to see you refereeing on a lot of these shows. You're firm and you're fair.
Going back to levels, like I said, the Quest who I work for, one of the promotions I work for, some of them fighters, some of them were ex-pros. Only lower level pros, but some of them were ex-pros.
Yeah.
I mean, so Queensberry League is doing well for the white collar scene. You know what I mean? They've
got a TV deal. You've got scouts, promotions going there, promoters going there to scout fighters. DKM, which I fight on, DKM Plus, brilliant platform. They're doing big events at the O2 and whatnot.
You got a show on the 23rd, didn't you? 23rd of this month, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm commentating 25th, and 25th November we're at Prison.
Hopefully I'll be there.
Yeah, it's going to be some action-packed fights.
Let me just give Quest a big up. They got a show on the... Quest got a show
18th
on
November.
The 18th, more than me on the 18th, yeah. So Epsom Racecourse.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that.
Yeah. Brilliant.
I love being the third person in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Brilliant, Wayne. Listen, thank you very much for your time. We've done a cool hour, and we could probably talk. We could easily talk for another hour. So, but yeah, we don't want to bore everyone to death. I know you and I can talk boxing. We can talk boxing for hours. But listen, I really want to thank you for your time.
No,
you're a true gent. You've been an amazing fighter, amazing inspirational man. And in our parts of London, in South London, Croydon, Tooting, South London, you're a legend down here.
Thank you very much.
And I think I speak for everyone in saying that, we've all got massive respect for your achievements in the ring. You was an absolute
Let me just big up Paul McCullough. He said Gunman versus Alexander the Great.
Pay-per-view. Oh yeah, I'll take him now. I wouldn't have taken 10 years ago.
He was a good by himself. He was forward,
Well, thank you, Paul McCulloch. And anyone who's enjoyed the interview, guys, please follow me at Gunman Boxing. I'd really appreciate you following me. I'm going to be bringing some. I've actually got Seamus Dunn who's agreed an interview. So we're going to give you an insight.
Good. Top referee.
Yeah, top referee. He's seen more knockouts than anyone. That guy, literally, seen so much in boxing. So we've got him coming on soon. Hopefully, Duke McKenzie is coming on soon. We've got a couple of really good guys scheduled up. So I'll just get them all firmed up, and hopefully everyone can enjoy getting to know more about the sport that we love. So Wayne, thank you very much. I'm going to share this with you, and listen, have a good evening. And thanks for your time.
Enjoy the weekend, mate.
God bless you all. Thanks everyone for coming and supporting us.
Cheers, guys.
And asking such great questions.
Take care.
Respect.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.